Another shoal of cars swam past. One in particular caught his eyes, a long, slender thing, elegant as a swallow, all gleaming blue and silver. 1,000 guineas it would have cost. He thought, in the first line, cars are described in terms of another shoal of cars swam past. Swimming. So car cannot swim. So he said in the first sentence, cars are described in terms of birds. No, birds fly. Ants, no. Fish, yes. A lamppost, so it's a fish that can swim. So a car is compared to a fish, swimming. So let's move on to the next question. Pick out the odd item here. Raising in the Sun, this is a play. 12-9 is a play. Osidi is a play by J.P. Clark. 12-9 is also from Shakespeare. The Concubine by this is a novel. This is a prose. So we have a play, a novel, a prose rather. So this is the odd one. So the answer is D, is odd. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, that year, the harvest was sad, like a funeral. And many farmers wept as they dug up the miserable yams. This is very funny. One man tied his clothes to a tree branch and hanged himself, not because the harvest was very bad. So the mood conveyed here is one of excitement. No, when somebody is sad, the harvest is not good. It can't be excited. Sadness, yes. Joy, no. Triumph, no. It's sad, very clear. So the mood is sad. So move on to the next question. One of the following terms apply to discussion of both tragedy and comedy. So both tragedy can experience this feature: climax, happy ending, tragic hero, alliteration. So alliteration normally occur most of the time in poetry. For tragic, we are talking of tragedy and comedy in play. So it is climax. You have to reach a climax. Either a tragedy or a comedy, there must be a climax. It has to come to an end. So let's move on to the next question. Okay. A character that is always against the interests of the protagonist. I think we have said it before. It is called a villain. A villain is always opposing the main character, the protagonist. This is a villain. Let's move on to the next question. The idea of meter as used in a literary piece. So, a meter. So, this is rhythm. It's called rhythm. So, when you are pausing, or you're singing the melody, very sweet, or bang, bang, or tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. So, that is used as a meter. So, it is rhythm. Let's move on to the next question. The hero whose weakness contributes to his downfall is called a tragic hero. Loved by people, very popular, very energetic, but his weakness always leads to his downfall, and that is a tragic hero. And that's exactly what happened to Macbeth in Shakespeare Macbeth. Let's move on. The same thing happened to Shakespeare Julius Caesar. What happened to Julius Caesar? Overconfidence, depending on trust too much in people. So you don't trust too much of your friend. And it's his friend actually, caused his death. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, this is a travelogue. I don't know whether you have heard before. From the word travel. Travelogue is a record of the writer's experience during a journey, the account of the experiences of an individual during his lifetime, the account of the travails of a character in a novel, variant of a novel written in a free style on a writer's journey. A is the answer. Record of the writer experience during a journey. I don't know how many of you have read a text called Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe, you can see that kind of accounts there, the record, So That is one. That is just an example. So let's move on to the next question. A literary work that ridicules the shortcomings of people or ideas is satire, mask, the fable, and irony. It is satire. That is ridicule the shortcomings so that there will be a change. It could be a people, it could be a man, it could be a character. So you are trying to ridicule that person so that a change will come and be satirized. So in order to bring a change. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. A ballad is meant to be acted, sung, discussed, read. It is to be sung. That's a ballad. It is an unwritten poem. It is one of the oldest form of poetry, and it is handed over from one ancestor, from one, ancestor to the other, from one generation to the other. So it is meant to be sung. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, play that tells a single story, has one setting, and take place within a specific period is said to. This is classical, and this is one of in the Greek play, particularly Aristotle. Aristotle said that, according to Aristotle, that it should to have a play. That play must observe unity, and we have three unities in literature or in drama. We have unities of time, unities of action, and unity of place. And let's look at them one by one. When you talk of action, let's look at the classical example, The Lion and the Jewel. If you look at the book, it followed that Aristotle terms or concept that a play should have that three unities of action, of time, and of place. Let's look at that of action. In The Lion and the Jewel, we see action. The action is on marriage and culture. CD wanted a bride price. He cannot just cheaply marry anybody without his bride price, her bride price being paid. That's an action. And through that, Lakule was trying to fight, I want to marry her. So, Baroka too. So, that's an action there. Then, the whole action too, everything took place within a particular community. And that is Ilugile. Then, we see that of place, where? Ilugile. We see that of time, within morning, afternoon, and night. Everything was completed. So within 24 hours, according to Aristotle, you must be able to finish everything. A play should not be more than 24 hours. Although later, some people began to fight it. Some writer counteracted it. And they say no. And that's why you see some play, they say after 6 months, after 1 year, after 10 years. So it is they no longer follow that of Aristotle concept. So let's look at the answer now. So be heavily moralistic, be clearly cohesive, possess the unity. That's the example, the unities. That's of place, of time, and action. Have tragically. So the answer is C. Let's move on to the next question. Pick out the odd. Let's pick out the odd one here. Metaphor. This is a figure of speech. Characterization is not a figure of speech. Personification, figure of speech. Reason, figure of speech. Simile is also a figure of speech. These are poetic devices, except this one that is in drama or in a prose. So the odd one is characterization. Let's move on to the next question. And these dancing looks are the ones that never flung up momentarily the sacred river. 5 miles meandering with a messy motion through wood, and they the sacred river ran. Sacred river ran. So let's look at it again. Meet these dancing looks. Dancing looks. Dancing looks. Okay. At once and never flung up momentarily the sacred river. 5 miles meandering with a messy motion. You can see M, 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 M. That is a sign that it is an alliteration. So the answer is not simile, not metaphor, not polysydeton. It is not monosydeton. It is alliteration. It is alliteration. This is an alliteration. So let's move on to the next question. Okay. The clouds were thickening in the red sky. A night hawk shone. A night hawk shone. A black power. A black power into the pondering waves. The figure of speech used in this, let's look at it again. The clouds were thickening in the red sky, and the night hawk shone as if it's a human being. A black power into the pondering waves. It has human power. So the example there is not oxymoron. It is not metaphor. It is not simile. It is not synecdoche. This is personification. So you can see the quality of human being as if it's a human being. You know, a night hawk charmed as if it's a human being that can be. A night can be charmed. So let's move on to the next question. Sophia, fancy, feel, would, way. Very clear. F, 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 F. That is a sign of alliteration. So the answer there, the figure of speech used there is alliteration. Let's move on to the next question. But now, as he claimed the steel path leading to his home, his courage started to lag behind. His courage, look at it again. His courage started to lag behind. As if courage is a human being that is going back. His weak body and hungry stomach, his weak body, as if it's a human being that gets weak. Hungry stomach, as if stomach is a human being. Push him like as if he's a human being that push him expectantly up the path towards home, where rest and satisfaction awaited him. Rest and satisfaction, as if he's a human being, is already waiting. Rest and satisfaction is waiting for him. As if he's a friend waiting, or his children or wife waiting for him. So the literary device predominantly used in this passage is hadith, onomatopoeia, metonymy, simile, personification. That is a clear indication of a personification. As if stomach is a human being, as if satisfaction is a human being, as if hunger and stomach are human beings. Let's move on to the next question. The most important figure of speech in the above passage, this one, is also personification. We have seen it there. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, we sang that song before. In the 1,000 seasons of good harvest and full fish following our father footprint on the long shores. The poetic device consciously used by Kofi Awono in this poem from More Message is full fish following fathers. So apostrophe, alliteration, simile, onomatopoeia, personification. So this is alliteration. Full fish follow father's footprint. Alliteration. Let's move on to the next question. In a poem, in a particular text called In Memoriam by Senghor, that from the dangerous safety of the tower, I may go down into the street. Dangerous safety used in this poem is an example of oxymoron. Something dangerous and safety, you put them side by side. These are opposite of each other. So that's an example of oxymoron. Let's move on to the next question. The tendency in words to echo the meaning by the actual sound is called onomatopoeia, assonance, alliteration, rhyme, phonetics. It is onomatopoeia. We have said it. Sound You get meaning by the sound. Mew, mew, a cat. Moo, a cow. Booing. So you can see that. Maybe a student, you are being called to assemble together and you are hearing green, 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 jingling of a bell. So that jingling is associated with a bell. So that's what it's called onomatopoeia. Let's move on to the next question. The expression, all the word is a stage. That's Shakespeare quotation. All the word is a stage. Is an example or is a good example of the figure of speech known as metaphor. Your word is like a stage, but directly, if you say it's like a stage, that's indirect, that's simile. When you say it's a stage, that's a metaphor. So you play your part and go away. Everybody will die one day. So the word is like a stage where you watch play. So can we go on? Okay. The metaphor in which objects, person, and events in a story are equated with meaning that lie outside the narrative itself. I've said it today. When you have an extended meaning, what is water? Water is life. Water can kill. Water can swallow. Water can give life. You can drink it, and it can also kill you. So you try to. That's what we call allegory in literature. So the meaning lie outside the literary meaning. You are saying the literary meaning, but it's different. So you interpret it literally. So it is allegory. Let's move on to the next question. The figures of speech in which a character makes a statement that has or will have deep and serious implication in the play. Deep and serious implication. And that's what we call aside. In a play, aside. It's not part, just outside the stage. Look at what he says, see what happened to me, Look at, we are poisoning him, he does not know. He did not know that the audience are hearing. So that's serious implication. That's what we call aside. Okay, I think it's okay. I think this one is okay. It's dramatic irony. It's an irony. It is not aside, it's a dramatic irony. Because it has serious implication. You interpret it, so it is dramatic irony. Using the name of one thing for something else with which it is closely associated with is an instance of, we have said it, metonymy. So I said you can use a particular, for example, if your car is broken down and you want somebody to help you push the car, you say, please give me a push instead of come and push my car. So your car is already associated with you, or you have associated yourself with your car. Give me a push. Or if the car is flat, the car is already flat, so you can put yourself there. So have a flat instead of a tire of my car is flat. Have a flat. So let's move on to the next question. When an object is invested with a meaning beyond its immediate reference, it becomes a symbol. We have said it the other time. It becomes a symbol. So you have a symbol, like I said, that you can have a particular object. When you are looking at a cross, it symbolizes a hospital or a church. So you can have that in every text too. Let's move on to the next question. You are the cold nest in which the migrant birds lay no egg, meetable to the childless. So is it you are the cold nest in which the migrant bird lays no egg. That shows barrenness. You cannot produce. That's the meaning. You are childless. You are not productive. So the device used in the excerpt above is synecdoche, imagery, metaphor, irony. That's a metaphor. So you are the migrant bird that lay no egg. That's a metaphor. Let's move on to the next question. Zeugma is a figurative device in which a noun refers to two parts of an expression. A conjunction governs two parts of an expression. A verb refers to two parts of an expression. And a pronoun governs two parts of an expression. It is a verb refer to two parts of an expression. You can, for example, you can say, he gave me a smile and a cup of tea. So gave there, that's two meanings. He gave a cup of tea, he gave me a smile. So you can say he lost his mother and his car. That lost, that's a verb. He lost his mother. Instead of saying he lost his mother, he lost his car. He lost his mother and his car. So that's something. Let's move on to the next question. Oxymoron is the use of two contrasting words that are, we have said it before, we place them side by side, two contradicting statements side by side. That is C, place side by side. Let's move on to the next question. An expression that signifies a whole through a significant part. We have said it today too. A part for a whole, or a whole for a part. For example, you can say, all hands must be on deck. Hands there can represent so many, everybody. Let's cooperate. All hands. When you say, for example, the party was very good. Everybody drank. I mean, the young boy, that young boy drank 10 bottles. It is not the bottle that he drank, but the content inside that bottle. So that bottle is a part. Then for the whole, the contents. So that is what we call synecdoche. That's synecdoche. Let's move on to the next question. The juxtaposition of two contrasting ideas in a line of poetry. That is oxymoron. We have just said it now. Oxymoron. So it's another place. Next question. The figure of speech in which the writer means the exact opposite of what he tends to say. And that is an irony. Irony is just the oppositeness. The opposite of what you want to say. Let's move on to the next question. Is a faithful liar. Faithful liar. How can somebody be faithful at the same time a liar? That's an oxymoron. So it's an example of oxymoron. Let's move on to the next question. Fights by the book of arithmetic. I want to fight by the book. Can you fight by arithmetic book? You fight by gun. You fight by sword. You fight by an instrument, probably by bomb. But you say you want to fight by the book of arithmetic. So what does that mean? Is it possible? It is hyperbole. That's exaggeration. I will fight because I am a mathematician. I have the knowledge. I'm a professor. So that is hyperbolic. Can we move on to the next question? Okay, let's look at this question. This text. I wonder how long you awful parasite. Look at the person. I wonder how long you awful parasite shall share with me this little bed. How can you be? And awake me from my sweet dream, beloved, by sucking blood from my poor head. Now he's talking, to a bed bug. Let's get to the questions now. Okay, the most dominant figure of speech in the excerpt, personification, hyperbole, metaphor, simile is personification. He's talking to a particular bed bug, that is a human being. Why are you doing that to me? So let's move on to the next question. The next question. Okay. The juxtaposition of the contrasting idea in a line of poetry is oxymoron. Just the same in a different way. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. I wonder on the wilderness. The great wilderness men call life. This is from Kofi Awono. I wander in the wilderness. The great wilderness men call life. The rain has beaten me. The sharp storms cut as keen as knife. The writer of this life is living in an experience to be described as it is not pleasant. When you say you have lived in the wilderness and you understand life, this life where rain has beaten me, this is metaphor. A rain of life, problem, obstacles. You know, he has passed through a lot of unpleasant experience. So it is not pleasant, difficult, rewarding, exciting, but it's difficult. So living in an what do we call it now? So living in an experience that is a difficult experience. Let's move on to the next slide. Next question. The clothes were like tattered flags. Tattered flag flying up to expose dangling breast. As jigger, blinding flashes, rumble, tremble, and crack amid the smell of fire smoke and the penetrating march of the storm. The general atmosphere described in the above passage is that of peace and quiet, contentment and calm, anger and anxiety, commotion and confusion, poverty and want. Let's look at it again. He said, clothes were like tattered flags. Maybe it's because of war. People just left their clothes, or somehow their clothes fly off. To expose the dangling breast, nobody care whether to wear good clothes or not. You just, by just running helter-skelter. Rumble, tremble, and cry amid the smell of fire smoke and the petty march of the storm. Probably there's a bomb or there's a gun. So, and people are just running and all manner of things, So that's a commotion and confusion. The atmosphere depicts that of commotion and confusion. Let's move forward. The next question. Okay, all day long, all along the line, through tiny stations, each exactly like the last chattering, little black girls uncaged from school. Little black girl uncaged from school. For the girls mentioned here, the hour spent at school mean creativity, amusement, relaxation, restriction, freedom. It shows restriction. When you are in school, you are caged. That's why he said that each exactly like the last chattering, little black girl uncaged. So, which means they are already caged. So by the time they are released from school, it's like, everybody run. They have freedom. So they are just running and running around because they are now free. So you see, time spent in the school is restriction, no movement. So you are in your class, you are caged there. So let's move on to the next question. Was it so hard? Actually, so very hard to die. Thou knowest, and I know not. So much the happier am I. This verse is taken from a poem written by a soldier at the battlefront. He clearly said dying in the battle as, let's look at it, very hard to die. But as a soldier, whether you like it or not, you have to die. So you can't run away if you are a good soldier. So you endure it. So if death comes, there is nothing, you have to submit to death. So thou knowest, and I know it. So you have to submit yourself. So what does it mean now? It's not glorious, patriotic, brave and desirable. A good experience may be brave but undesirable. So the answer should be this one. Even though it is brave, but nobody wants to die. You are not wishing to die. Even though it's, happier am I. So I'm not happy, but you have to die. So that is act of bravery. Let's move on to the next question. The hunter dies and leaves his poverty to his blacksmith. To his gun. The hunter died and leave his poverty to his gun. The blacksmith died. This is a traditional poem, oratory. The blacksmith died and leaves his poverty to his anvil. So this is an example of elegy, ballad, epic, eulogy. It's an example of an elegy, a poem to mourn a dead person. Ballad is a classical poem, so song handed over from one generation to the other. So it is a clear example of an elegy, so a poem to mourn a dead person. Let's move on to the next question. If I cannot slaughter other tribesmen, if I do not say my prayer in the morning, if I turn my back on some of your advice. So what is the repetition in this line about is, if I cannot, if I do not, if I do not. You can see if as example of para. Okay, it's not paradox. Okay, it's an anaphora. It is. I thought there is parallelism there. This is example of an anaphora. We have said it before. Just look at the structure. Repetition of the word if from the first three lines. Can we move on to the next question? Life, though a vanity yet, not purposeful, in drawing resignation, life's spice is in strife. From the extra above, the poet suggests that life is full of care. There can't be life without strife. That's exactly what he said. Life is worthwhile without living. Strive make life worth living. Okay. So he shows strive make life. This example. This is the answer. So when you strive, when you struggle in life, so it's worth it. So you can't live without striving. You can't enjoy the world without having to struggle. So strive makes life worth living. So there's an answer there. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. And your laughter, like a flame piercing the shadows, has revealed African to me beyond the snow of yesterday. So from the poem above, shadow means, let's look at it again. And your laughter, like a flame piercing the shadows, problem, has revealed Africa to me beyond the snow of yesterday. So African people, they are suffering, they're in problem, they are passing through a lot of hardship. So the shadow means not a bleak future, period of suffering, abstract idea, famine. It is a period of suffering. And your laughter, like a flame, we have done this one. Okay, just the same question. And your laughter, like a flame piercing the shadows, I revealed African to me beyond the snow of yesterday. From the poem, shadow means period of suffering. We have just seen that. So let's move on to the next question. What eyes we watch are large mouths, shaped by the laughter of big children. What eyes we watch our large mouth. This is Priagodeal vanity. So the tone of the tone, want to look at the tone. Sarcastic or sarcasm, sacrilege, chiasmus, eulogy. This is sarcasm. When you talk about what eyes we watch our large mouth, shaped by the laughs of a big children. Look at that. When you look at that, vanity. Vanity upon vanity. So what's the essence of your education? You have gone to learn, but the culture is being eroded. So they are now laughing at us. So that is a sarcasm. Critical. Let's go on to the next question. The year, that year, the harvest was sad, like a funeral, and many farmers wept as they dug up the miserable yams. One man tied his clothes to a tree branch and hung himself. The mood conveyed, we have seen it before, is that of sadness because they don't have a good harvest. And somebody even died, committed suicide, just because the harvest was bad. So that is sad. It's not joy, it's not triumph, it's not elation, it's not excitement. That is sadness. The next question. When he was turned over, his eyes ball started upward in amazement and horror. His mouth was locked, tongue wide. His trousers soaked with blood, were torn open and exposed to the cold, white air of morning. The thick hairs of his groin, mottled together, black and rust red, and the wound that seemed to be throbbing still. This passage achieves realism through the use of details, simple words, long sentence, the past tense, the punctuation. It is details. Look at it. When he was turned over, his eyes ball started upward in amazement and horror. His mouth was locked, tongue wide. His trousers soaked with blood, were torn open, and they exposed to the cold. Can you see details? Even that is a word describing everything. So it's details, it's description. Let's move on to the next question. When we got off the bus, he helped me to cross the road, holding me by the elbow. When we got off the bus, he helped me to cross the road, probably a young girl and the boyfriend, holding me by the elbows. Submissively, I allowed myself to be led out on this curb. Out on this curb, there was an African sun, and in my heart too, shedding a flood of light. So the narrator is full of gloom, fear, doubt, fear, uncertainty. He's share, very happy. So that mood is a cheerful one. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's look at this question. Persons who take part in a play are sometimes referred to as audience, dramatists, personnel, comedies. So we call them persona, dramatists, personnel. That's what they mean. So those people who take part, they are personnel. Who take part, they are part of the play. So we call them dramatic personnel or cast. So let's move on to the next question. A speech made at the end of a dramatic performance is generally called, I said it before, that a prologue is a speech made before the commencement of the drama, and the last one is epilogue. Prologue is just like introduction. Epilogue is like conclusion. So a speech made at the end is called an epilogue. So it's an epilogue. It's not a dirge. A dirge is a song of mourning. A monologue is one person is talking, one person drama. So the answer is B, an epilogue. That is a speech made at the end of dramatic performance by one of the characters. Thank you. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as you do that, I believe that your life cannot remain the same. Thank you.